I'm Mark Crutcher.
And I'm Renee Hobbs. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yep. And first off, we want to talk about the situation down in Houston. I'm sure some of you are wondering whether we're involved in that or not. We're actually quite a ways away from that.
We're about 6 hours.
Yeah, about 6 hours away.
6 hours, yeah.
And so we're not directly involved in it. We'll get some rain. As a matter of fact, it's cool outside right now. We're only in the mid-80s or so.
Right.
Low 90s or something. So it's cooled off because of the rain. And we will get some rain from that situation eventually, but we're not directly involved in that. But of course, we do have a lot of friends and people that were on Life Talk prior
Yes.
that are involved in it.
Yeah.
And
Terrible situation. Lots of flooding and lots of rescuing going on.
and it's apparently going to get worse.
Yeah.
Because the storm is just sitting there. It's
Right.
not moving off. It's just sitting right over that area.
Yeah.
And so we do need to be praying for those people and doing whatever we can to help them. But one of the things that I think is important for us to remember, whether it's this tragedy or any other tragedy, is that the biggest tragedy going on in America today is still going on. 3,000 babies are going to be butchered today. And as horrible as that situation is in Houston, we can't allow that or anything else to drag us off of the target, so that we're not concentrating on what we need to be concentrating on. And you know, it's like I said back in when 9/11 happened, about 3,000 people were killed that day.
Yeah.
In 9/11, but 3,000 other people were killed in the abortion clinics.
That day.
And the next day, and the next day,
Right.
and every day since then.
Right. That's right.
So the unborn child has a 9/11 every day. They live with a 9/11 every single day. As you and I speak right this moment, perfectly healthy babies being carried by perfectly healthy moms are going to be butchered tomorrow. And be butchered before this day's over.
It's a tragedy in itself.
It's
they
all-
need to be protected. And
Right.
And like you said, as bad as Houston or 9/11 or anything that goes on, the babies are still,
Right.
the mothers are still going into the clinics and killing their babies.
You can't let anything drag you off of that. I know it sounds almost selfish to say that, but it's a fact. Like I said, the unborn child has a 9/11 every day.
Yeah.
You know, one thing before we move on from the Houston deal, I want to point something out. In 1900, a hurricane hit Galveston. And for people who don't live in Texas, you may not know this, but in 1900, and you may not even know this, you were born and raised here, but did you know Galveston was the largest city in Texas in 1900?
No, I did not.
See there, even you didn't know that.
Okay.
Galveston was the largest city in the United States in 1900. And during that hurricane, 10,000 people were killed.
Do you know the name of the hurricane?
I don't remember it. I don't even know if they named them back then. They
Oh,
may
okay.
not have.
Okay.
But anyway, that hurricane hit Galveston. Galveston never recovered from that. And like I said, it was at that time the largest city in Texas and growing. Is a big thriving city. Not that it's not today, but it's certainly nowhere near the largest city in Texas. And you wonder, was that tornado so much worse than this one? Because this one's not going to kill obviously, we hope it didn't kill anybody else, but it's not going to kill anything approaching that kind of number. And no tornado since then killed any of that many people. What's the difference? And you know, we always talk about, and I'm the world's worst about this, talking about the evils of technology. And technology does have a lot of evil aspects to it.
Yeah, except it's worked in our favor on this
Right.
because
That's
of
the reason.
getting the word out and getting boats down there to help rescue the people that
Or
need a rescue.
evacuating areas,
Yeah.
or people being prepared for it. When Galveston was hit in 1900, they had no time to prepare. They didn't know. There was
Yeah.
no way for them to know that this this hurricane was fixing to hit. I keep saying tornadoes because that's what hits up here.
Yeah.
But we don't get hurricanes
No.
in Denton
No.
or Dallas, but we get lots of tornadoes, of course. And tornadoes can be, the wind speed on a hurricane, like they're talking about 130 to 150 mile per hour wind speeds, and that's obviously pretty devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason hurricanes are bad is because they're so big. Tornadoes, in an F5 tornado, you can have wind speeds over 300 miles an hour. We've had them in this area, over 300 mile per hour wind speeds.
Right.
But they're small.
Mm-hmm.
A large tornado will be a mile to a mile and a quarter wide. I mean, that'd be a gigantic tornado like the one that hit down by Waco a couple of years ago in, I can't remember the name of the town. It basically wiped out that little town. But the eye of this hurricane down in Houston is 17 miles across.
I didn't know that.
So it's not the gigantic wind
Right.
speeds, it's the size of the thing.
Right.
And
It
then
stretches
all the
a long
water that
distance.
it drops down.
Yeah, crazy.
So
We'll have to keep them in our prayers.
that's part of living in Texas, is to have to put up with bizarre weather. And right here at our building, we have a tornado shelter.
We even have earthquakes going on now
Right.
in Irving.
Right.
Quite a few.
But the biggest thing is tornadoes for us,
Yeah.
but we don't have anything like that going on right now. But anyway, just be praying for those people, and let's recognize that although technology has a lot of downsides, and I'm very concerned about what technology is going to mean for the future, for all these bioethical issues like abortion. But let's also recognize that it has upsides, and we have no way of knowing how many people would be dead right now down there in South Texas.
Right.
Had it not been for the forewarning and people evacuating towns and getting ready and boarding up their places and making preparations to go other places if they need to. So that technology has saved a lot of lives.
Yes. It
And
has.
anyway, one of the things that we get approached about on a fairly regular basis, people call here and say, look, beyond just donating money to Life Dynamics, which is obviously a very important thing because we can't do anything without the support that you guys give us. Other than that, what can I do? You know, I'll have people all the time say, you know, I'm a housewife, or I'm a guy that works for a company, and I don't work in this full time. What can I actually do to help stop this? And there are actually a lot of things. And one of the things I tell people is make sure you keep a constant flow of letters to the editor in the newspaper. We've got to hold the pro abort's feet to the fire.
And we still get phone calls regarding that, people wanting that book that you wrote.
Right, and I'm rewriting it right
Yes.
now. And the stuff that I'm writing right now, I think is the best stuff I've ever written by far. But we're going to be having something out now to help people with that. But one of the things that we've been producing for years, and a lot of people out there know about it, but some of you may not, is what we call action cards, and they're basically business cards.
Yeah.
And we have I think 46 different.
I think we have 47. The number 47 is a colored one, but we have up to 47. Yeah, those are amazing cards. And I tell you what, they really
attention.
do get attention, and they upset people that receive that card. They give us a call and want to know how they got it and who purchased it. And
It's amazing. The pro-aborts go berserk over this.
yes, they do.
And it's just like our direct mail that they go berserk over. The main reason is there's not a thing they can do to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can put that when you're paying bills, and if you still write out checks, if you don't go through bill pay with your bank, you can stuff those in the envelope, or if you're shopping, you can put it in pants pockets. There's
a million
different ways.
We have people leaving them at restaurants with their tip.
Yeah.
You can use, you'll see laundromats that have a place where business people can put up their business cards.
Yep.
And what these are just business cards with pro-life sayings and pro-life information and pro-life statistics on them. And the nice thing about this is, again, there's nothing that pro-aborts can do to stop you. They're very effective. And if you know, as I say here all the time, my background is in marketing, and I can tell you that you can go around the country and you can find lots of companies that don't do television advertising. And you can find lots of companies that don't do radio and don't do print or don't do billboards or don't do all kinds of advertising. But almost every company in this country has business cards.
Right.
Because this is the cheapest way to advertise that there is. It's basically free. It's free advertising other than the price of the postcard, of the business card. And we have 46 different regular versions, and then they have one version that's a graphic image, it's color, and it has a graphic image of abortion on it. So we have a lot of different ones, and we've had some ideas for some new ones. We have people send us ideas, and I've got a whole file on one of my computers about business cards we might do in the future. But right now, these work fine.
They work really well.
And you can keep them in your pocket. My wife keeps them in her purse, and she'll put them out places where we go. And you can just leave them on a table at a restaurant. Just do that. Or like you said, we've had people go into malls and put them in the pockets of the clothing there.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes the people at the mall get mad, and sometimes the people that buy the clothes get mad. But you know what? They hear the pro-life message.
That's right. That's
And
the truth.
This is the way that everybody here, everybody listening to this who's pro-life can do this. This is something everybody can do. And we try to make it just as dirt cheap as we can. What are we charging now? 5 cents a card? It's $5 for 100.
$5 for 100, yeah.
And we pay the shipping.
Yep.
So you can get 100 cards for $5, 1,000 for $50, whatever. And we have people that order them by the thousands. We have people that have ordered them by the thousands. So, and we've got, like I said, 46 different styles, or 47 counting the graphic one, and they're just the cheapest way in the world that you can actually make an impact on the pro-life effort, and it does make an impact.
And my favorite one is, have you hugged your choice today?
Right.
That one's my hugged.
Have you hugged your choice today?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
That's your favorite one?
That one is, yeah. I like that one.
Right. Well, anyway, that one's kind of sappy, but
I know, you know what? I'm a sappy kind of person.
You're a sappy kind of girl. So, anyway, that we started that one back when they had these bumper stickers. Have you hugged your child today? So we did a Have you hugged your choice today?
That's good.
And so anyway, there's some of them are pretty aggressive. Some of them are pretty in your face. Some of them are kind of warm and fuzzy and touchy feely. And of course, I like the ones that are more
In your face.
and
Right.
mean and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Renee likes the ones that are like sappy and sweet and all that. But anyway, we want to really encourage you to go to lifedynamics.com under the product section, and you can see all the various cards there, and you can order them from us. And like I said, they're $5 a 100, and that's about as cheap as you can get for doing pro-life work. And believe me, it makes a difference. And if you think it doesn't, go somewhere and leave a card and go away and watch the person that picks up that card.
I know.
We've had
I'd
people that
love
have
to
called
do
us
that.
that
Yeah.
said they've done that.
Yeah.
And it does make an impact.
Yes, it does.
And it's just like they saw it on a bumper sticker or on a billboard. If they were driving down the street and saw this billboard, the same information on a billboard, it wouldn't be any more impacting than them holding it in their hands. And believe it or not, we put the information on the bottom of the card about how they can order it. And we've had pro-lifers pick these up, didn't know anything about them, and call us and ordered their own off just somebody leaving one at a laundromat, or we've had people go into dorms at colleges and put them on the billboards. There's a million different ways you can use these. And so we want to really encourage you to go to lifedynamics.com, look under the product section, and order your selection of of business cards. Again, it's the cheapest way that you can get involved in actually doing something for the pro-life cause. Now, there's one other card that I have here that you can also order if you want those. It's called Need Help After an Abortion. And this is for people who go to the abortion clinics. If you go to the clinics and you're not able to prevent a girl from going in and having an abortion, give her one of these cards and say, the chances are that you're going to need some help. Either you're going to be injured, or you're going to need some emotional help, or you're going to need some counseling, or you're going to need some medical help or something. The chances are that you may need that.
That's what I've taken
Right.
out there.
When you go to the mills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand them this card, and it tells them to give us a call if they need help. And we've had a lot of these calls, and we're looking at starting a new project related to these calls, in which in the past what we've done is we've not kept the names of the women and the girls that call in. I think now that was a mistake. I think we should have been keeping a file on these women, and I'll tell you why. Anytime you go into a state legislature to try to pass a piece of legislation, we go in with stats and facts and figures and philosophical arguments and theological arguments and dogmatic arguments and all this. The pro-aborts counter that with real-world people. And they go in there and they tell an emotional story. It may be a lie. It may be a complete bald-faced lie, but they tell that story. And that's more impactful than all the statistics in the world. What I want to do is have these women that call us, that Renee and I talk to on a weekly basis. We talk to them, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes more than one a day. I want to start a database of those women, not without their knowledge. They'll know about it if they're put in the database, so that when we go into the legislatures or we go in front of the media and we're talking about a particular subject, we might have a girl or a woman who's been a victim of that particular issue who can actually talk about it.
She can
And-
share her testimony. Yeah.
Right. So we're looking at kind of upping our game a little bit on this particular issue. But sometimes these girls just need somebody to talk to. We've had a lot of conversations with them, and they're hurt, or they're feeling guilty, or they don't think they can be forgiven. They can't forgive themselves. God can't forgive them. They go through all of these emotions, and a lot of times Renee and I can help them. So that's the reason that we started out giving these. But we want to look at starting to create this new database. And basically all this card does is tell them if they need help, if they were forced to have an abortion against their will, which is very common, if they were lied to or misled at the abortion clinics, which is almost universal, if they need physical or emotional help, or if they had a minor child who was given an abortion without their knowledge, we want to know about that too. So even if you live in a state that doesn't have parental notification requirements, that's still important because that child might have been the victim of child sexual abuse and was unreported. So anyway, those cards are also available at the website, so you can order those and order the action cards. And these business cards will make a difference. I promise you, I have seen it. And by the way, we have now put out about 300,000 of these business cards. We've been doing them for years. We've put out over 300,000 of these business cards.
Very impactful.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got anything else?
I don't have anything else except for if people want to give us their show ideas, we would love to hear it.
Right.
And if you do and we use it, we'll give you a free mug.
Right.
Can't beat that deal.
Can't beat that deal with a
No.
stick.
Mark, we have somebody watching us from London, from UK.
Oh, really?
Saying hello.
Well, hello.
I don't know how to say your name or what. I'm sorry. It's LJ, and then I don't know how to say the last name.
Okay, well,
That's pretty cool, though.
isn't it in English?
Well, it is, but
I mean, they do speak English in England.
Well, do you want me to show you how to say?
No, I don't. That's okay if it's that bad. I mean, there's names in Texas I can't say.
Yeah.
You know, so.
This one's definitely.
Right, definitely one of those.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Anyway, is that it?
That's it.
That's all you got?
Yep.
All right. Till Wednesday, remember, Life Dynamics is not here to put up a good fight. We're here to win because winning is how the killing stops. We'll see you Wednesday.
See you then.